Lying dirtbag. Morning Joe goes to visit President Trump. And it's the liberals, leftists, that are the meanest, cruelest people that unleash on them. And we're going to document that today. I love it.
First, this is the collapse of MSNBC.
I love when the opposite side is destroying each other. It makes their satanic ideas weaker and ours stronger. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is part of why we're so happy. Liberals rage against Morning Joe betrayal after co-hosts meet with Trump. We will not forgive. Boy, big shocker. Leftists aren't forgiving?
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Well, whose fault is that? You could have reached out to him at any time.
I'm amazed. I did not expect Hitler to get so many meeting requests. First from Joe Biden, now from Mika and Joe. It's amazing that literal Hitler is getting all these meeting requests. And what it tells me, Professor, is that all the rhetoric that came from the left, from the Democrats, from the White House, from Kamala Harris and everyone else before the election, all of the rhetoric, the fascism, the Hitler, the Nazi rally at him, it was all a bunch of BS. They didn't mean any of it.
Of course, now they're in a place of cultural weakness. And now they go, oh, give us a second chance. Speak to us. If Trump lost, they would be after his head. All of the left would be after all of us with their mandate. What does Trump do when he wins? He has a conversation with them. And of course, the left, who are insane, are not going to have any of that. Here's some of the commentary. Still, the staunch Trump critics' admission enraged liberals who took to social media to call them grifters and cowards. Breaking news. I told you so. Former MSNBC host Keith Olbermann wrote, calling the pair Trump collaborators. Guys, Mika and Joe, they're on the team now. Quote, not a word Mr. and Mrs. Vichy Quisling say can ever be trusted again. Not that those words ever should have been trusted. They are confidence tricksters and grifters, Olbermann added.
And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications.
You restarted them because MSNBC is about to be sold. You were about to get fired. And I'm sure that the only way that you were able to keep your job was to promise your channel, say, look, we think we can get an interview with Trump. Here's Nikki Haley. Let's be clear. Joe and Mika didn't suddenly see the light. They saw their ratings. They realized they needed Trump for their survival. And who better to know that than Nikki Haley, whose career was in the dumpster and her only hope of any kind of satisfaction or any kind of a career is to get back in the goods with Trump. Quote, normalizing Trump is a bad idea, MSNBC host Katie Fang also wrote on X in an apparent reference to her network colleagues. Period. F Joe and Mika, F Morning Joe, and F MSNBC if they keep them on the effing air. Popular liberal X user Jojo from Jers posted, quote, bowing in advance, cowards. Liberal Sirius XM host Michelangelo Signorile posted, quote, given Morning Joe and Mika are now sucking up to Trump, I wanted to reshare my clip from MSNBC on Friday when I made it clear we will never surrender to Trump. We will take the fight to him. We will not meet him halfway on his fascism. We know who he is. And more importantly, we know who we are. Progressive Sirius host Dean Amelia Obadala wrote. So this is about the battle within the left, the true believers versus the grifters that sell out and join Trump. Quote, sold us out for access. We will not forget. And if we survive the next 4 years, that's quite a stretch, we will not forgive. Blue Sky account Loco Runner posted. Quote, disgusting, unquote. Anti-Trump Washington Post columnist and MSNBC analyst Jennifer Rubin posted in response. Can you imagine going to the MSNBC coffee room and there's Joe and Mika? They don't have friends on the right, and now they don't have friends on the left. They're sitting at the cafeteria table all alone.
My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. The That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike.
Yeah, that's how it used to be until now. Why didn't your father teach you that lesson, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, before you went psycho? That standard had always been there, that you're allowed to talk to people that you disagree with and have an interview with them and collect information to present to your viewers that you didn't do for 4 years. You didn't treat Trump like a human being. You called him Hitler and a fascist, and now you, and the end of democracy, and now you went over and you kissed the ring. You shook the hand of the devil, what you call the devil, which shows that you were lying all along. You never believed it. And we knew you never believed it. But our dumb liberal friends who voted for Kamala believed you. Where's your apology to them? Quote, Morning Joe jumped the shark, unquote. Midas News editor-in-chief Ron Flipowski posted on the platform, quote, Joe Scarborough and Mika from Morning Joe, their ratings plummeting, made a pilgrimage to Mar-a-Lago because they decided that if you can't beat him, grovel for access and help normalize him again. Stop watching Normal Joe, unquote. Popular liberal social media account Brooklyn Dad Defiant posted, quote, to those of you waking up at this hour and thinking of watching the rerun of the first hour of Morning Joe, this is what you're in for. Joe NBC's and Morning Mika's betrayal of their colleagues, democracy, and us all. It is a disgusting show of obeisance in advance. Jeff Jarvis, a recently retired professor at CUNY's Newark Graduate School of Journalism, wrote, wow, we're going to the bottom of the barrel for some of these quotes, my people, on The View, because my life can never be decoupled from The View. They follow it everywhere I go. It's a curse. The left-leaning panel debated the decision from a journalistic perspective. The View, that is not a journalistic perspective. You can't give them that credit. They're blathering armchair, ladies at the beauty shop. From a journalistic perspective, co-host Sunny Hostin said it wasn't necessary in her view to go and, quote, kiss the ring to be able to properly cover Trump. And that tells you everything you need to know about how the left treats even their own. They're hateful. They want them destroyed. They want Mika and Joe's career destroyed for going to Mar-a-Lago and talking to the president of the United States, even if they're only doing it to save their career so they can eat, so they can pay for their multi-million-dollar flat in New York, even if they're doing it for self-preservation and to make some money and to be more famous. I mean, you can at least credit that. The idea that they want their career dead and cut off after they were caught lying all this time. I mean, the liberals, the only thing the liberals hate more than a conservative is a liberal who's willing to talk to a conservative.
Again, side issue, when are we going to learn to work together?
I'm Doug in Exile.